Kevin, you got me?
Hey, everybody. Ruben Amaro Jr., Jim Salisbury, Todd Zolecki.
I'm here.
It's the Philly Show. We're live from Manco Manco on the Ocean City Boardwalk. All right, we got some
action here.
We got some
action.
action. We got some boardwalk action going on. We're excited to be here. Hope everybody is doing well. You're watching us live. Beautiful Sunday morning down at the Jersey Shore, Manco Manco.
Nothing like it.
It's fantastic.
Perfect combination, Todd. You know, when you got OC, you're here at Manco Manco. I mean, it's best pizza in the planet.
I'm not sure what I like the smell of better, the salt air or the pizza cooking behind us.
Yeah, no, we're right behind it. I think we'll get some in a little bit. But, we're super excited to be here. Baseball season, midsummer, trade deadline, Jersey Shore.
Trade deadline, what, 4 days?
Trade deadline is a little bit more than 4 days away, so there's a lot going on right now. Up in New York, guys, Phillies-Yankees.
They're crushing.
Phillies are all of a sudden they're starting to hit the baseball a little bit.
Yeah. Who needs a bat?
Who needs a bat?
They still need a bat, though. But I think they need a reliever more. We're in the home stretch for the trade deadline. What do you think? You changed your mind on reliever versus bat after this little run they're on?
No, I think the reliever, I mean, obviously you got to wait to see what happens with Robertson as far as when, how effective he'll be. But you're not going to be able to find that out really until after the trade deadline. I'm not sure when Robertson's going to be ready, probably in the next week to 10 days.
Around August 8th or 9th, I think.
What's that?
About 8 or 9 more days, 10 more days with Robertson?
Yes, about that. Yeah, he's going to start his, I think they said basically it's 15 days, so it'll be like August 4th, August 5th. He'll be able to come back.
Yeah.
So let's talk trade deadline. Let's talk Phillies-Yankees. It's time for the Parks first pitch. First pitch is brought to us exclusively by our partners at Parks Casino, Pennsylvania's #1 casino. So, guys, trade deadline. What do we want to do? We want to talk Phillies-Yankees first, or we want to talk trade deadline?
Let's Phillies-Yankees.
Let's go Phillies-Yankees.
Yes, Phillies-Yankees. Bryce Harper crushing it. Cal Schwarber crushing it.
The entire top of the lineup. I mean, how about the month that JT Realmuto has had in the month of July? I mean, right now we're seeing what can happen when you get multiples, 3 and 4 guys hot, and that's what we're seeing over the weekend. I know the Yankees are struggling, but it's great to see Realmuto swinging it. And one of our big second half storylines coming in was, can Bryce Harper really turn it on? And so far he has, and it's been a real difference maker in the team. And Schwarber's been Schwarber. I think it's time we start talking about Kyle Schwarber as a serious MVP candidate in the National League.
Yeah, no question about that. But I one of the things that we've been waiting for is and we talked about it at the beginning of the season was, is this team supposed to have a pretty darn deep lineup? And some of the guys in the back end of that lineup weren't doing squat. Right. I mean, they literally weren't doing anything, and they have picked it up, obviously, particularly a guy like JT, that right-handed bat that can help this team a lot. They've got a lot of left-handed thunder with regard to, Harper and Schwarber, obviously, but the right-handed bat's important. I still think it's important to try to get somebody to really protect, those two left-handed bats. But it's huge for them to have gotten to the point where JT's starting to be more productive. I think that's gigantic. I think it lengthens out the lineup. It takes a lot of heat off some people, and you still got Alec Boehm coming back at some point. And when Alec Boehm comes back, that's a big piece as well. So it will be very, very interesting to see how this all plays out in the next 4 days with Dave Dombrowski. I do still think that there's
so Ruben, put yourself back in the GM shoes. Offense has been struggling the first few months of the season, super, super hot and cold. Now they have a 6-game stretch where they start having a lot of extra base hits. They start hitting for some power. Do you sit there and go, okay, it's back, it's coming back, or do you say, I'm not going to be fooled by a 6? Because you hear GMs all the time say, well, I want to see, with a week to go before the trade deadline, these teams on the bubble, I don't know if I'm going to be a buyer or seller. It's like 1 week is going to change your entire future of the organization potentially. So how do you look at what you've seen over the last 5, 6, 7 games in terms of, going out and getting a Eugenio Suarez or somebody like that?
I think you have to be realistic about what this lineup is, and it has failed, when it goes cold. And I think you got to try to give it a little bit more depth. And how do you do that? You got to do it with, a bat coming in.
Right.
Again, I think the priority has to be, if they're going to make one move, I think they do need to get somebody in the back end of that bullpen to close things down.
Yes.
At least somebody that you feel really comfortable about, getting 3 outs in a really tight situation when they have a 1-run lead, okay, or when they are tied, and they could throw somebody in the 9th inning and feel really good about that. There's some guys who are pitching a little bit better who can do that on this team, but not guys that have shown us they can do it consistently. So I think that's the priority. But you can't get sort of, mesmerized by the fact that these last few games they've swung the bats better because they're not facing great pitching either. And so you have to take that into account. They still need that bat, I believe, that's going to help them, give them a little bit more depth on the right side, and hopefully it's a dangerous bat. Again, I don't know who's available out there right now because it's so volatile. These next 4 days are insane when it comes to who's going to be in and who's going to be out and who's going to be available.
And it's an eternity. 4 days is an eternity at the trade deadline.
It really
Some teams are on the fence right up until 24 hours before. And then the text messages start rolling. We're in, make your offers, bring it. But I still agree with Ruben. I wonder who is going to get the last 3 outs of ball games in October. The last 4 outs maybe. That, those pressure-packed outs in October, they're different than in July, August, and September. So I still think you have to be out there looking to get somebody who can lock down that game. But we can't kid ourselves. They need a bat. We've said it all along. It might be a marginal guy that you can ride for a couple months that maybe can get hot, or it might be Suarez. I mean, he really interests me. I love the idea of bringing him in, and maybe you kind of suck it up a little bit and put Schwarber out there in left field, and Suarez becomes your DH when Bohm gets back. But, I don't know if they can pull off 2 marquee moves like that, but we're going to find out. I think they know I know they know all this stuff. They know they need an arm. They know they need more offense. They're not going to be fooled by one big weekend in New York. It's like when you look at McAble, right, and you say, wow, he had a bad start in the big leagues. Does that really hurt his value? No. The teams out there know that he's a developing player that's going to need time. I don't think it kills his value. Just like I don't think one big weekend in New York is going to convince them they don't need a bat. They need both. The time is now with this nucleus. The clock is ticking, and I think they're going to do everything they can to address both.
I can't wait to see kind of what they do. I mean, Dave Dombrowski certainly has made some moves over the past few trade deadlines, but he hasn't made that Cliff Lee 2009, Royals Vault 2010, Hunter Pence 2011 move where that was the guy. So I wonder if that, and I'm not saying he necessarily feels pressure. I don't think Dave is influenced by that stuff, but I almost feel like it's gone 3 years of kind of doing those marginal moves. And I'm sitting there going, I wonder if this is going to be the year where he goes, all right, Miller, Crawford, Tait, Escobar, Abel, they're all out there, and we're going to make it go big.
I'm all about throwing all those chips in myself. I mean, I'm all about it, especially with the way things are set up across baseball. Detroit's not playing well. The Yankees have been terrible. The one team that's playing great is Toronto, but there's so many teams that aren't playing well, and this World Series is there for the taking. It's there for the taking, and it may be the difference in making that big move, I think.
So, Ruben, in the last, like JT has picked it up in the month of July, Luis Robert has had a really good run with the White Sox this month. He's turning it on. He's killing left-handed pitching. You have never been an advocate of acquiring him. I understand why.
No.
He's had two very poor years. But, I mean, could he be someone, if it didn't cost you a ton of prospect capital, maybe he's a threat of enough of a threat that maybe you take a run at him as your right-handed kind of threat in the middle of the middle of the lineup, and go for a lockdown closer reliever with your big trade capital. Are you coming around on Luis Robert at all, especially if he didn't cost you big?
I've been all thumbs down on him for a long time, and I just don't know money-wise. I mean, I think he's under control for another couple of years.
He's got club options. $2 million buyout, like a $20 million
Here's the other thing. If you got him, he's going to turn it on for 2 months. He's going to be very engaged because he wants that $20 million option.
Very possible.
I don't pick it up.
Right.
But I mean, he's going to be motivated.
So you have to view him as a rental and someone that you're basically spending money on rather than talent capital. So listen, as long as they do something strong at the back end, that'd be great, and add that little piece. Why not? Go ahead. I mean, if it's going to make them, if it's going to make their lineup marginally better, then I'm okay with that.
So I wrote this down because I thought these numbers jumped out at me. Luis Robert Jr. against left-handed pitching this season, 966 OPS, 529 against right-handed
You
pitching.
could platoon him.
But this month, Luis Robert Jr. batting 351, 982 OPS. Sounds like someone that wants to get traded.
No doubt. I don't necessarily trust the guy, and I've been going thumbs down on him for a long time. But I've been going, but on the guy.
Yeah.
But if you can catch lightning in a bottle and you're willing to pay whatever it is, capital, money capital wise and talent capital, why not? If it's making your team better for a month, and that's all you need him for.
Right, and you talked about that Brian Reynolds guy, how you thought maybe if he got out of Pittsburgh, he'd turn it on a little bit. I'm starting to wonder if Luis Robert gets out of kind of Death Valley in the south side of Chicago and comes to a place like Citizens Bank Park where it's electric, where he's got guys like Schwarber and Harper going all out. Maybe he picks up his game a little bit and you get the best 2 months of his career. I just think it's really worth bearing down on a little bit.
It'll be fun.
Hey, that was First Pitch, brought to you exclusively by our partners at Parks Casino. It's parkscasino.com, Pennsylvania's #1 casino. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, and you must be 21. Don't forget that.
Time for a quickie break. Todd Father and I are going to tell you about Huel, but it's mostly going to be Todd Father because I'm going to take a sip.
Well, we're talking about Huel, 27 vitamins and minerals. It's a complete meal. Let's listen. We all have busy schedules. As Scott's sipping it down, it looks delicious. It tastes delicious. When we're on the run, we need something to eat quick. And guess what? Huel is there, all different flavors. Scotty loves them. I love them. And I love how variety-packed it is, and we can eat them any time of the day.
That's right. Yeah, check out the website. There's bars. There are so many different flavors. I love the Black Edition. Chocolate, 35 grams of protein. There's strawberry shortcake, coffee caramel, cookies and cream. I can go on, and you get yourself 15% off if you're a new customer using the code FOUL at Huel.com/foul. Please see our description for the terms and conditions. Skip the stress, not the nutrition. Try Huel today for complete nutrition with the code FOUL at Huel.com/foul.
All right, we are back. Manco and Manco, Ocean City. We're pumped. We got some big guests here,
We
guys.
got some big celebs, man. We got
come
some
down to the shore.
big vibe guys.
We got Phil Martelli, Fran Dunphy. Thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Yeah, good to be with you guys.
So is this
great.
so OC home? You guys have homes here in OC, or you're just cruising by and hanging out with us?
Well, we do whatever Cindy Webster tells us.
Oh, that's right. That's a great
We're
point.
both in Avalon.
Oh, you're both in Avalon.
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, that's not too far down the road.
No, it's good. Very good.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
It's awesome to have you guys. I know legendary basketball guys in town, but how about big baseball fans out here? I see you at the ballpark now and then, both you guys.
Yeah, I would say that college basketball coaches, their next most important love is baseball. It fills
Really?
that gap from
Yeah.
between the seasons, and we love every second of it. My man has a countless number of opinions, and he's happy to share all of those. But it's great fun.
Opinions
No.
are our fuel. What
No,
what do you think of this Phillies team?
to me, it's college basketball and then baseball. And I come by it, like, honestly, when I say all of you guys are much too young. In 1964, I walked from Southwest Philly to the airport and met them when they came off. Coming off, like, not a lot of people you guys are aware of it. They won their last 2 games that year. They didn't go into the end of the season losing 10 straight. They won 2 straight in Cincinnati.
Right.
Came up a game short against the Cardinals. I was down there as a 10-year-old as they came off the plane thinking, well, they'll just be back next year. Who knew it would be 50 years until we were, like, on Broad Street again.
Took a long time. Hey, so one question I had about you guys when you go through your recruiting process, because I know back in the day as a baseball person, and I know that baseball scouts used to go and watch kids play basketball, to see what kind of athletes they were, to make their assessments about it. So in the off seasons, a lot of the kids would play basketball and they would make those assessments. Would you guys do the reverse? Would you guys ever go to baseball games if an athlete was playing? I don't know if that translates the same way, because I happen to think that basketball players are probably the best athletes. I think all around. Soccer players probably get mad at me, and so would hockey guys. But I think the reality of it is they're really, really great athletes. Did you guys recruit that way too, or did you just watch them on the basketball court?
I don't know if we had the opportunity to select versus recruit. So we would do anything and everything to try to get a kid who was a good athlete and watch him. I think, and Phil probably backed me up on this, I would love to watch end of basketball games to see who wanted the ball, who was going to come through in the clutch, and see what else they participated in. If they were also a football player, that never bothered me. I was fired up about that. If also played baseball, anything, I want them to be athletes and competitors, and play every sport you can for as long as you can was my way of looking at it. I didn't want kids to specialize back in the day, but now it's a whole different world that we're in, and the world of college basketball has changed mightily.
Ooh, sure.
I would go to football. I thought football was a big deal, to see what kind of teammate he was, and really to take the eye test and say, well, that's tough. Because I think, like, we play indoors, you don't get hit, you don't get, but they practice when it's hotter than heck, and they play when it's colder than cold. So just to see a kid playing in that kind of atmosphere, and to be honest with you, Ruben, at a certain point in time, you don't have to see them play basketball anymore. You're more going to see what kind of human being, and is this somebody that I want in my gym? If the kid has all the answers, or he has somebody yelling to him all the answers, it's not going to work, right? It's just not going to work. And just to be, because you're passionate about, can I help them become a better person? Not just a better player and a better student, but go and see them in environments that maybe it's a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe they're overmatched in football. So I would spend time at football games.
Do you think that was more important while you were scouting them as Big Five coaches in this area in Philly, or do you think this is something that's universal as far as the competitiveness? I know I want all my athletes to be competitive regardless of where or when, but I think it seems to me, except always been for me, as while I evaluate players, that being able to handle the Northeast and the pressure of being able to play in this environment, I thought that was really important. You both talked about makeup and how important that is, and their overall competitiveness. Is that something that's more germane to the East Coast way of playing, or the Big Five way of playing, or was it just in general for both of you?
I think, for, in all honesty, our world that we lived in was more Northeast than anything else. We didn't go that far away to recruit. Right. But I think the toughness and the athlete is the same everywhere. I don't think that changes very much. But it's, for us, somebody would say to me, have you seen this kid? And you'd say, yeah, I saw him, but I didn't study him. Because that's when you really get involved with a kid and you study every aspect of him, how he is with his parents, how he is with his teammates, how he is with the referee, how he is when he comes off the court and interacts with a little kid that says, I want to be you in 15 years. You're going to sign my autograph or whatever. You want to see all of those things that take place, how they present themselves as a person, and then it's going to be the same as they present themselves as a teammate.
Right.
Rube, the world that you had to recruit for is different, because how many of those kids that just were called in the draft last week, how many are going to end up on that team if they make it to the show?
Very few.
Right? So in my world, I used to look around and say, you know what? That kid shouldn't go far from home, because the night it doesn't go well for him, it doesn't have to be a phone call or a Zoom call with the family. His family's going to be at the games. We have an advantage in the Northeast in that there's so many players, and they're so well coached and prepared, both in the winter and in their summer basketball, that you can get them to say, you know why it's important that you stay home? Because that night when it doesn't go your way, you need somebody to hug you. And if that's somebody, it can't always be the coach, because we have 13 or 15 of them that we have to take care of. and not all of them are happy after every game, win or lose. But if they have family, that to me was a really big deal in that they could get home in a crisis and not have to get on a plane. So this area was important, was the bread and butter for all recruiting.
So the Phillies are playing the Yankees this weekend, and the Yankees are struggling. And right now, Aaron Boone, the Yankees manager, is getting killed because the Yankees aren't playing well, and he's not ripping his players enough in the media. He's not holding their feet to the fire enough in the media. Rob Thompson gets criticized for this quite a bit too, because he doesn't go out and blast his guys after they, Trey Turner misplays a double play ball, fumbles it. Guys are swinging out of their shoes, out of the zone. You guys, I think, could offer some unique perspective on this. So how did you guys handle this? When your players weren't playing well, you had a bad play, a bad game, maybe a bad stretch, and someone's asking you, Mike Jensen or somebody's after the game asking how, what this call that you made or whatever, this play that you called just bombed out. And how do you handle that, and how do you look at what's going on with, get Rob Thompson, Nick Sirianni, those types of things?
I'm going to just answer it with one succinct statement. Give the credit, take the blame. When you sign those papers, when you take that job, that's part of your responsibility. Give the credit, take the blame. And you just don't want those kids, especially back then when they weren't being paid money, which now it's going to be, I think things are going to change now at the college level. But for the most part, you're protecting those kids that you have in your program, and you're talking to them every day because maybe they had a bad game tonight. You need them to have a good game on Wednesday. Right. So let's make sure that we're taking care of it.
Scream your praise, whisper your criticism, and as often as possible in public praise, and in private you can criticize and break them down. Now, as far as the Phillies and Rob Thompson, they do not want to mic me up. If Wheeler throws a ball this afternoon, I will want him shipped to Allentown immediately. And I will volunteer to drive. If Turner doesn't get a base hit, I'm like, seriously, what are we waiting on here? I am completely, and it starts in Clearwater. I watch every pitch, and I react the exact same way in Clearwater because this is magical. I don't have to preach to you guys. Yeah. Like, if this disappears and we become Pittsburgh or one of these dredge franchises, right. Like, I just can't get over what the organization has done with how good they are. When you go down there and walk that concourse and you see a family from North Philly, and then you see a family driving in from Tom's River or whatever, right. Please, we cannot lose this. We cannot lose this. It is so magical to have great baseball. I don't want to ever see us where can you imagine that ballpark? Where I had to go. Can you be in that ballpark and see 20,000 people? It would be
I've been there.
I know. We all right. We all have.
So what do you want? How about how good Wheeler is?
He's ridiculous.
It's insane.
It's insane to watch it, isn't it?
He should have 15 wins and be the number one candidate for Cy Young.
No doubt.
I think we all agree that he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. He should win a Cy Young.
Easy, fellas. He hasn't won his last 2 games. I need to see more.
We'll put you guys on the spot. If you guys were in a GM seat right now, would you go chips all in and sell your prospects, or would you hold something back and hope that these guys can get it done?
That's why you had the job that you had.
He's a politician.
It's unbelievable. I would do both, to be honest with you. I'd try to find the person that we think is going to help us right away, but you can't give everything away because we're playing next year and the year after. Just like my man said, we got to hold on to this. Nothing
one
like
arm,
Phillies baseball.
Rude, one
Nothing
arm.
like it.
One arm in the bullpen.
One arm in the
bullpen.
All right.
No bat?
One arm in the bullpen. Don't mess with that psyche of that team. That picture yesterday of Marsh carrying Sosa off the field, yeah. And by the way, He must have gone to Lourdes overnight because he's playing today. So
Well, sometimes.
that was a soccer fall, wasn't it?
I thought
I wouldn't mess with the psyche of that.
So you're touching on something that always interests me at the trade deadline. The teams that bring in talent and buy, they're good teams. They're contenders. But oftentimes when you bring in somebody, it can disrupt a little bit in the clubhouse. Somebody has to take a step back in their role. Somebody might actually have to leave.
I
How
know.
much do you
I'm-
consider that? Because you
Jim,
guys have freshmen coming up taking jobs. You have to consider that at the college level.
This is how nuts it is for me. Last year at the trade deadline, when they DFA'd Whit Merrifield,
Yeah.
I just said, I hope it didn't mess with that locker room, because that locker room. This is my picture. The Phillies were as classy as ever, honoring Dan Baker. He and I were there, and Jay Wright was there, and Dan Baker was speaking from home plate. And I remember telling you this. I turned to my right. 26 players were on the top railing, led by Harper. And I said, that's why these dudes are special. Don't mess with special.
I tell you what, there were some players in that clubhouse after Whit Merrifield got released that wondered if it affected the juju in that clubhouse.
Yeah, you think
guy.
it's me.
Good guy.
I'm all Phil. You nailed it. I'm all Phil. As
You're
soon
all
as it
over it,
happened.
Phil.
Merrifield was in the basketball equivalent of a gym rat,
Yeah.
and he was good in that room.
Maybe you should be advising Dave Dombrowski.
No,
You never know.
no. Today's not Dave Dombrowski's birthday, by the way. So that's how. And I also checked the Mets. First thing I did at 5 o'clock this morning when I got up, I checked the Mets score from last night. It's insane. It's truly insane.
That's awesome.
race.
We love having you guys as fans.
Before we let you go, I know you've got a podcast called Make a Different Podcast. What can you tell us about it? You've had Fran on it. You've had Fran on.
I've had Fran. I've had nuns who are serving the homeless. I did not want to do sport. I did not want to do basketball only. I didn't want to do coaching. I didn't want to yuck it up. I truly wanted to make a difference. I wanted to make a difference in all of these different ways, because so many people have allowed me to live the life that I live because they've made a difference. So when I take people on, it's very formatted. At the beginning, I do my Martelli minute, and then I do my guest. And we have a young lady who deals with autistic children all over this country. She's a guest this Tuesday.
Okay.
Next Tuesday's guest, number 10, playing shortstop for the Philadelphia Phillies, Larry Boa.
That's
Nice.
That'll be
great.
fun. Entertaining.
Larry's fantastic. We all love Larry. That's
might
going to be
come
amazing.
live on that one.
I don't know if we'll go live. But
No, I just want to say how much I admire the college basketball coaches in the Philadelphia market. I mean, all winter long, you guys slug it out and you try to beat each other up, and then when it's over, I mean, you guys just ooze respect for each other and your buddies, and you do great charity work. So that's all.
Hats off.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to have you guys as part of the community. You guys are Philadelphians through and through, and we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you
See
very
you
much.
guys on Broad Street.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
All right, good
Phil
to see you guys.
Martelli, Fran Dunphy, thanks for coming on the Philly Show. That was awesome. That was awesome. All right, we've got listen to this. This is how high-tech we are, guys. We're doing a fan question.
Thank you.
Really?
Eric from Ocean City, what do you got, buddy?
Hey guys, how you doing? You do a great job with the podcast. We really appreciate it. I think we're all wondering about Schwarber. With him being red hot and such a great leader, do you think the Phils are going to do what it takes to keep him? And what will it take to keep him?
Ruben?
Well, I don't think there's any question in my mind that it always takes two to tango. But I have to say that there's no question in my mind that the Phillies are going to do everything they possibly can to sign the guy. I think that's their intent clearly, and he is a big priority for them. The issue, I think, is that Schwarber's going to put himself in a position to try to get as much money as he possibly can, and the greatest length. And he wants to whittle it down to places that he loves to play. And I think he loves to play in Philadelphia. Don't get me wrong. I think he really enjoys it. I think that there's a mutual respect there. But there's other cities out there that he could consider, Cincinnati and Chicago, and there's going to be some big hitters in L.A. and some other places maybe in New York that are going to go after him. And I think he wants to set his market. And if I'm the Phillies, I let them all try to put bits on him, and I pay him $1 more than they throw out there and try to get him done.
So I'll say this. I think they're going to re-sign him as I sit here right now, and the reason why, obviously, you need power in that ballpark. He's got big power. I think he's going to continue to show it into his late 30s. John Middleton is a guy who listens. He's a businessman. He listens to his customers. He listens to his fan base, and they want him back. And in the end, I think John Middleton's going to listen to his fan base and bring him back. So that's my opinion.
We've made the comparison all season that he could be like the Phillies version of David Ortiz for the Red Sox. He's got this incredible bat speed. It's not slowing down. It's got elite level bat speed, and so it's not like you see a bigger guy, power hitting guy, and his bat speed starting to slow down. You're going, oh, what's this going to look like in 3 years if we sign him to a 5-year extension or a 5-year contract? I feel like Kyle Schwarber is going to be hitting home runs for the next several seasons. There's no safe bet. There's no guarantee on anybody.
Nope.
But I feel pretty good about Kyle Schwarber being a productive hitter in the major leagues.
I think they need him, and
for
I think
several seasons beyond this one.
they need him. Look at the year he's having. We said earlier in the show he's going to starting to move his way into the MVP picture. And now I know Juan Soto left the Yankees, but after a big season, I just think they're going to try to wrap him up and do everything they can do to keep him here because he is so valuable on the field, in the batter's box, in the clubhouse. He's a really special guy.
I was in the clubhouse when Boston had David Ortiz the last 2 years. His last year, excuse me. He makes a really, really huge difference as a leader, as a person in the clubhouse. And that's the other piece of this that becomes so important for them. I mean, they have Harper and they have JT, and JT's going to be a free agent. But as far as leadership is concerned, and that's a hard thing to buy, you can't quantify it, but that's a really important piece of this as well. And I think that that's another reason why they'll probably re-sign him and do everything they possibly can to do so.
What's the number?
It's a 5-year deal, I think, and I think the 5-year deal is going to start with a 3. I think it's $150 million.
Yeah. And like I said, John Middleton listens to his customers, and the people in this town want this guy back. I think he's coming back.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for
the
stopping
question.
by. So I want to ask you guys, we're going to bring on Brandon Duckworth in a few minutes, but I want to ask you guys, besides Suarez, is there any other bats out there that might not be attainable, but, man, if you were Dave Dombrowski, Preston Mattingly, you're really bringing some heat on these guys? Is it Stephen Kwan, who would be amazing in left field? We did a show about a week and a half ago, 25 trade names, flow, no flow.
Heavy flow.
Heavy flow
on
Stephen
Kwan. Heavy flow on Kwan.
Jaron Duran,
very minimal. I had very little or no flow on Robert. A little bit more now than I did then.
I love it.
I think that for me, I think you just need to get marginally better, incrementally better in your lineup. And then you got to get much better, I think, in your pen.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
Totally agree with that. So if you went after a guy like Laureano, maybe he doesn't cost you, an arm and a leg, and you can use your trade capital in the bullpen where you need that lockdown guy at the end of the game.
Okay.
So, but Robert is starting to intrigue me with this little turnaround he's had here.
Robert?
Intriguing me, depending on what I have to give up. I'm not going to be fooled and give up the farm for him, but I'd rather spend big in the bullpen and get those last 3 outs taken care of.
Would you bring back Austin Hayes? Would you bring back Austin Hayes?
Yes,
I mean, the reason why they got him was what he's doing now over there with the Reds. I think the Reds are probably still in it. I don't think they want to sell these sort of cheap and stuff, so I don't think they want to change that.
If you could get, Gino Suarez, you're probably using more trade capital there. Now you have less to use in the bullpen. So, to me, inch that offense along and go big in the bullpen.
What reliever would you guys want? If you could wave a magic
I'm still
wand.
in on Class A. I know he struggled his last time out, and he's had some struggles throwing strikes at times in certain situations. I like him. I still like the guys in Minnesota.
Yeah,
Duran is
Yeah.
again. These guys have not really pitched in those tight situations to have to make get those 3 outs to get it done. But I mean, I would take them.
I still like Mason Miller, even though they're probably not going to move him. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I love those 4 years of control.
Yeah,
I love
no
that
doubt.
triple-digit fastball. Yeah, he hasn't been there, done that, but you can say that about every athlete. At some point in everybody's career, they had to pitch in pressure for the first time. So, but I like Bednar. There's questions whether he's a closer or not. To me, he's having a hell of a year. Helsley is going to probably go. I know he's a rental. The guys from Minnesota, the guy Bird in Colorado. Another guy I like, and I think I would be on, is Raisel Iglesias. Has not had a good year, has been very good recently in Atlanta. Would they trade him to the Phillies? You know what? He's going to be a free agent. I think they probably would for the right return. I don't rule out Raisel Iglesias having a pretty good final 2.5, 3 months. And, he's been there. He's kind of been there and done that, no?
Yeah, he has. And, again, he hasn't had the greatest year, but he's starting to heat up a little bit. And, hey, we got Kevin Millwood from Atlanta, and we never thought we would get him. And we got him in a
who
trade.
screwed this up? The Red Sox, because they got good. They started playing good, and they're going to keep Chapman.
Yeah, the Chapman's the man for me. I mean, I love the idea of having a Aroldis Chapman, and this guy is just stepping in. He's battle tested, yeah.
In
Bautista
Baltimore,
got hurt, too.
Bautista gets hurt, and I think that this
That
good
hurt a
chance
lot of
he's
teams.
like number one target. I do.
Bautista.
I gotta believe so.
Control,
No doubt about
power, short
He's a
car
stud.
ride. You can get him here. Like, you make the trade at 3 o'clock, he can close out that game.
Aroldis Chapman was my guy, man. I was
What,
all
does he still
about
battle?
Aroldis.
I mean, he's
battle tested. He's throwing the ball with tremendous confidence.
Great
He's
shape.
left-handed, which is you're going to need. Alvarado's coming back, but he's not going to be able to pitch in the postseason. So he was my guy, but I don't think that's happening because Boston, it's going to be tough for them to sell.
Yeah, now for sure. But we're going to bring on another guest. We got Brandon Duckworth, former Philly. Brandon Duckworth. Brandon, welcome to the Philly Show.
Oh, it's great to be here, guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate the invite, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's awesome, man. We're excited to have you. So I want to start by asking you this. At any point in the past week, have you said to anybody, Billy Wagner, going to the Hall of Fame? Team, Phillies traded me to.
That's right.
Traded for me to get Billy
we
Wagner.
traded
You were
Mr.
traded for a Hall of Famer.
He was traded for basically a Hall of Famer. That's right.
I tell you what, you pinch yourself, and to be associated with a guy like Billy Wagner, first and foremost, is amazing. But at the end of the day, I mean, you just kind of like, oh wow, you pinch yourself and say, that's pretty dang cool. Something that you can talk to your kids about and whatnot. But I always get the stuff from my kids. Oh, here we go, dad lore once again.
That's
So you've been involved in baseball for a long time. You've been scouting there with the Yankees for a long, long time, and you've seen a lot of baseball. Tell us what you think, some of the evolution of baseball, what's kind of going on, and do you see a big difference from the time you started scouting till now? I mean, you've been at this, 12 years now? 10 or 12 years?
Yeah, I think the big thing is utilizing the analytics much more than we ever did in the past. We're able to measure things, whether or not how accurately, it's continually getting better. I think more of the players are more open to all these things, so they're utilizing it. Sometimes I think it's a little too much because they never take a downtime. So as soon as the season's over, next thing you know, they're immediately in some of these, places that are measuring all your spin rates. Okay, now we're going to start tinkering with pitch grips and all that. Like, we used to do it way back, but we used to do it by utilizing other players and saying, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? What's your thought process? What's your grip like? So now I'm seeing some funky grips, and I'm just like, I would have never thought to utilize that. And then, the hitters, they're just trying to launch. And I think that's where we've gotten a little bit further away, whereas there's more, I guess you could say, holes on players now as far as hitters, because they're tuned to one thing and one thing only, and there's a lot of three true outcome guys. So I think those are some of the biggest things that I've seen, and it's progressively gotten worse. And hate to say it, but fundamentals has not really been a strong suit in Major League Baseball over the past few years.
I agree. I think once upon a time when you were pitching, you never heard the expression pitching lab, where they're, changing grips and pressure points and all that stuff. And you were out on the mound figuring out how to get guys out. And when you're on the mound, you can't rely on a computer and a pitching lab. You've actually got to use your innate ability to actually get guys out. So I think some of the analytics and some of the technology has led to an over-engineered athlete that doesn't necessarily always think for himself. But I do think it has its place. I mean, we're seeing these skills that just are eye-popping, some of the movements on these balls, but I think there has to be a balance.
Yeah, I think that's some of the biggest things is how much do you do with guys, and you don't want to take the feel out of the game because, we always go crazy. I'm sitting there watching guys, and they're pulling stuff out of their pockets. Oh, where do I have to adjust? Like, back in the day, a lot of the guys that we had playing behind us, they knew innately, who's pitching? Okay, what's his pitch? What's this? What's that? What's the situation? Now they're moving around on their own, or you have a center fielder that's saying, hey, do this, do that. Shortstop saying, hey, let's go this way. Maybe he knows something that's going on. But, we see it a little bit now with PitchCom. Middle infielders and center fielder, they know what's coming in a lot of regards. So they can cheat one way or another. They can do different things. So there's a lot of really good stuff, but it's a matter of how much do you need without it taking your feel away from the game.
That's such a big word and such a. How did you get a day off today? So Brandon is a pro scout for the Yankees, and they're out there, looking for talent, and you're going around and looking at minor league players that you might be wanting to acquire. This is an incredibly busy time of the year for pro scouts, right?
I'm still working, trust me. I've been away for a long time. I was fortunate to have a couple of days.
6 weeks leading up to the trade deadline, like for a guy who focuses on the pro ranks?
You don't know where you're going to be from 1 week to the next. Like, you can go to one series where I was at, and then they're like, okay, hey, go here, go there. And a lot of it will depend upon, are you close to any certain group of players that we're interested in, and so on and so forth. So, I just came off the road. I have a couple of days, but I'm also going to see our minor league guys that are potentially part of some of these trades. So our club is going to be playing in Wilmington, so I'm actually with the good fortune of being able to drive to and from and be at home. So, I'm doing live in look. I'm doing video reports. I'm doing all sorts of stuff, making calls, trying to see kind of what the temperature is on certain guys, what makeup is. We're just trying to make sure that we have the right fit, because the toughest thing, no matter whether you're in Philly, Boston, New York, is can they handle the market? Which you guys were talking about earlier on the college ranks. So, if you can play in any of those cities, you can play anywhere in the country. Now it's a matter of, say you guys, we look at a guy that maybe in the Midwest or the West Coast, and you're like, okay, they haven't really played meaningful baseball. Do they know what it's like to be like in a pressure cooker where every little thing is scrutinized? Northeast is that. Philly, Boston, New York, period. Like, it's tough. It's very tough. You better have thick skin. But if you thrive there, you write your own ticket.
You can handle it, man.
I just want to switch gears a little bit and ask you about your time in Philadelphia. As you were coming through the system and as you were getting opportunities to get towards the big leagues, going to big league camp, being in big league camp, any players that you sort of idolized or you learned from, or players that as you got closer and closer to the big leagues, you thought about, or not? Idolize is probably not the right word. Maybe seek maybe some of their advice and that kind of stuff.
I think the biggest thing for me was I watched a lot of baseball. Like, not only did I play, but I watched. I loved watching Greg Maddux and guys like that pitch. So I tried to do all I could to emulate some of those people and just say, okay, he doesn't throw particularly hard, but man, he's a master. He knows what he's doing. He's one or two steps ahead. So coming through, I was always just pound the zone, pound the zone, pound the zone. But, maybe you have average stuff versus some of the kids that you see today that have the big monster arms, but you still have to command it. It doesn't play if it's not in the zone, no matter what you do. So coming through, I would always idolize. Like, I used to love watching Kurt Schilling. Like, he didn't care. He was just like, here it is. If I give up a homer, guess what? It's a solo homer.
Right.
Solo homers generally don't beat you. And, he would give up his solo homers, but he was 8 innings in. Next thing you know, complete games. So you're trying to idolize something like that. Obviously, Greg Maddux is who I really like to watch just because he was a surgeon. He could do different things and set guys up. He would set guys up if you watched any of his thing on MLB Network. He set up Jeff Bagwell for the playoffs. Threw him a pitch that he knows he wouldn't throw. And next thing you know, he didn't get it later on, and he said it to Eddie. He's like, remember 3 months ago when? Guys like that, tacticians, and as you work through, you get into big league camp. I rubbed shoulders with a lot of great guys, like a couple guys that were really close to me. The late Real Cormier was amazing.
Yep.
You'd have Ricky Batalico in there, so you would ask him things, and you're like, okay, here we go. Am I going to put a quarter in? What's going to happen? What's going to come out, right? But, guys like Dan Plesac, who in the moment, like if I was in the bullpen and he's talking about situations, like those are the things that I don't think a lot of people realize that happen. You're always constantly learning. I would try to listen to the hitters on the bench. Okay. Listen to Bobby Abreu, Ricky Leday. They're talking about guys and what they used to do. Hey, you can pick this pitch. Two of the best guys I'd ever seen picking pitches on pitchers or what they're doing. So you're sitting there going, okay, now I got to close up that hole. Am I doing stuff?
Right.
Or you'll ask them, hey, I feel like people are on me. Can you see anything? Some may tell you, some may not. They're like, I may have to face them later on down the road. But you're always trying to get that edge to make yourself better, whether it's talking to position players, whether it's talking to pitchers, you're talking to the pitching coaches and coming through. Anybody that would come in on a rehab, you'd sit and talk to. So I don't think you ever stop learning, and I think that's one of the biggest things that I think I could express to kids is ask questions, ask how people do it, and try to emulate someone that has similar stuff, similar style, but stay within your strengths.
Your son Easton's here. He's playing ball, travel ball. Is there anything from your career that either you had success with or struggled with? Is maybe one or two things that you always key on with him, or you would tell? We have a lot of parents that listen to the show, kids playing baseball from 5 years old through high school right now. What would you?
I think the power of positivity with young kids is immense. It's easy when you're on top of the world, playing, hitting, making all the plays, but it's when they find themselves in a little bit of a rut and trying to help them get out of it. The power of positivity, because that's when the kids need you the most. When maybe they're struggling and whatnot, and they're like, oh man, I'm just not hitting, or I'm in a rut defensively. You're like, so what? Hey, let's go. We're going to work. I have all the confidence in the world. I think positivity at the young ranks, I think, is paramount. Get them to believe in themselves, and maybe they're not doing anything wrong. Next thing you know, they believe in themselves, and they take off.
Brandon, I don't know if you can talk about this, but the state of the Phillies farm system, can you give us a general overview of it? It seems like it's gotten better in the last handful of years. It seems like they have some marquee guys. We hear a lot of the names, trade deadline time. You never knew who's on the move. But could you offer a snapshot of the health of the Phillies farm system?
Yeah, right now they're pretty top heavy. They got a pretty good top 5 guys, I would say. And then after that, it's just kind of marginal type of prospects that you're like, okay, can this guy turn into, excuse me, a different player? What are the odds? I think that's the big thing. And then you have the top tier, and then you got some lesser knowns, or I should say the kids that are at the lower levels, the Taites, the Escobars of the world, that have a chance to be pretty dang good players. I think they have some healthy guys, more of the upper echelon, but then it kind of falls off a little bit. But at the end of the day, they got enough to go out and try to bolster their bullpen, maybe get another position player if they need or feel that they need that. But right now there's not a lot out there, and prices are just going further up and up and up.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Brandon, thanks so much for stopping by the show. We appreciate it. Well, I guess I was going to ask you, what you think the Phillies should go out and do, but I guess
He's not allowed to say that.
Can't say what they can do, but
yeah.
they're in a good position as they're beating up on us this weekend. So,
Yeah, I was going to say, what's your feeling on the Phillies? What you've seen this weekend up in New York.
run prevention is key at this point in time. Playoffs is all about run prevention. They've got a strong lineup. I think.
So if you could do only one thing with the Phillies, a bat or a big arm at the end, I think I'm picking up what you're laying down.
Run prevention.
Run prevention. Sounds like a bullpen piece. That's a signal for bullpen.
Well, and now let me ask you this question, because a lot of people in Philly, of course, fans watch their team and they see every flaw, but they don't watch all the other teams and see all their flaws. Could this team win a World Series? Because right now, a lot of talk from Phillies fans is like the offense is too hot and cold, the bullpen's not consistent enough. There's no chance they could win the World Series.
Welcome to Major League Baseball in 2025. Everybody has their warts, as
Right.
we say. And it's a matter of when do you get hot. If you're hot at the end, you can run through a system. No doubt about it. You just want to be one of the teams that doesn't have to play in the wild card.
Right.
So if you're one of the top two teams, you're like, okay, great. Now we can structure and get all of our ducks in a row to start the game, and then guys get a little bit of a rest. Sometimes it can hurt because you take that rest and you're not playing all the time. But at the end of the day, you can talk to anybody. They're like, no, we'll take that. We'll get into the division series right away and not worry about it. We'll roll with that. So I think it's pretty open. I mean, the Dodgers aren't playing great right now. Detroit's not playing great. We're not playing great. The team that's playing amazing right now is Toronto. I mean, they're lighting it up.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you tip
Ever
your
since
hat.
they signed Guerrero, it's like that clubhouse came alive and they just started winning ball games.
Yeah.
John Schneider was like on the hot seat. Now he might be the manager of the year.
That's right.
Well, thanks, Brandon. Appreciate it, man.
Oh, my pleasure. It's always
That was
great to
fun.
see you.
Joining us, man. That's great.
seeing you.
Oh, yes.
Good luck to you, the Yankees. Maybe Yankees-Phillies World Series.
Hey, keep your fingers crossed. That'd be great.
That'd be fine.
All right, we got another question. We got Jim from Warrington stop by.
Hi, guys.
Jim, what do you got, buddy?
I got a question for you. How much do you pay attention as a general manager to what the competitors are doing? So, for example, if the Mets announced the trade this afternoon for Duran and Buxton from the Twins, how would that influence what Dave Dombrowski would do to combat that?
I missed.
So he said basically, if the Mets go out today and they get Duran and Buxton, if you're Dombrowski right now, how much does that influence what you do? Do you go, oh crap, all right, we're going to throw Painter in, Miller, Crawford, we're going to get Suarez, and we're going to get
Yeah, you try not to be too reactionary as a GM. You try to do what's best for your club. It's obviously would be a big blow, and it's the reality of it is you got to hope that your team is going to be able to step up for the most part. But I mean, you still want to try to be aggressive. I mean, I'm a believer in this situation because the team is good enough to win a World Series right now, as it stands, that I would throw my chips in and try to be as aggressive as possible. Who knows? One of those doors closes. Sometimes another door opens up in that situation. But I would continue to try to be as aggressive as I could. But I have to work a little bit in the back. You don't necessarily work in that vacuum because, hey, there's teams around you that are doing things. But you also have to be really well focused on what the goals are for your team and your organization and have those be foremost in your mind. And you can't really worry about too much about what the rest of baseball is doing.
Perfect. Love that.
That said, you do probably pound your desk when you see the Mets make that trade, Ruben.
Yeah.
Right?
I would not be happy.
Yeah.
I would not have been happy if that happens. But listen, that's part of the game. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder all the time. You never know what prospects other teams are interested in. You never know what kind of talent other teams are willing to give up. And that's the difficulty of making trades, especially at this time.
There you go. Awesome. Thanks,
Thanks for the
Jim.
question.
Appreciate it. All right, Ruben, Phillies close up. They could go for the sweep today against the Yankees.
Yes, they could.
Yes, but if you're down at the shore right now, you're listening to the game on the radio, You can still follow the game.
Yes,
you can have a
you
little
can.
bit of fun on your phone.
You sure can.
Parks Casino, maybe.
And you can do it on your phone because the one and only betting app that I would recommend using for betting on sports and playing casino games is this one, BetParks. BetParks app. I mean, it's been outstanding. You can do all types of different stuff on it. You can play games, Huff and More Puff. There's all types of games that have become more and more popular. It's a little bit like TikTok for those who love to bet instead of love, dances and songs. But I think that BetWire is also something that's kind of cool. That's an all-new sports betting live feed. It's right inside the BetParks app with quick videos, hot takes, game predictions, all types of stuff that come from across the country. There's new users can also get up to $1,000 back cash if you're down in your first 24 hours. See betparks.com for details. You must be 21 in Pennsylvania, in Jersey, in Maryland, and Michigan. You have to be. You call 1-800-GAMBLER if you do have a gambling problem. You love to play. You love to win. You bet Parks.
Well.
And here we go. I'm betting on that.
Jimmy's
right
in
there.
heaven right now. This is an appetizer. Appetizer's Jimmy. We got
Jimmy,
Chuck Bangle
you put it
from
right in
Manco.
front of the right guy.
We brought the pizza, but we got the man that makes the pizza. We got
Look at
Chuck
the
Bangle
steam
from
coming
Manco Manco. How are you, Chuck? Welcome to the Philly Show. Thanks for having
gentlemen.
us.
Thank you for being here. It's absolutely great to have you here. Our fans appreciate it. Our customers appreciate it.
Yeah, this is
These
awesome.
guys waited in line overnight.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are really excited to be here.
Same here, guys.
So tell me about your experience. I know you have a great relationship with the Phillies organization, and I know it's something that's important to you to watch them have their successes. And you've gone through the successes and failures. Tell me about when that started for you, because you're not necessarily originally a Philly guy, right?
I'm a born and raised Phillies fan. I'm responsible for sneaking about 500 pony bottles of beer into the vet back in the day.
Nice.
Put a false spot them in the cooler. Eagles, Flyers, Sixers. All of our staff here are Phillies fans. And when the Phillies approached us to be a corporate partner with them 4 years ago, we said yes. And it's been a great ride on both sides of the baseball, Aramark and the Phillies. It's just been unbelievable. Cindy Webster's been great to deal with. She's the best back there, and this is the icing on the cake, and we're proud to be part of your show.
So we're in the era of analytics. How many pizzas do you sell every night at Citizens Bank Park?
A lot. I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you. I'm sorry. A lot. We sell a lot. Savannah Bananas last night was off the hook.
Wow.
But we're just proud to be part of the Phillies organization. It's been an unbelievable experience. And being a diehard baseball fan, to meet you folks, the Phillies players, John Middleton, his staff, just fantastic.
I know you sell a lot because all I see is people walk in front of the press box with
Hundreds and
boxes of Manco Manco.
So Chuck, when you've been at Citizens Bank Park since 2022.
Yeah, we're in our 4th year.
Right. So I wrote a little story.
Us and Schwarber have to re-sign.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. I wrote a little story. The first homestand, the first of opening weekend.
Yes.
At Citizens Bank Park. Post game, the Phillies are about to go on the road. You had players were just crushing Manco and Manco in the clubhouse. I remember Gene Segura had a couple slices. I remember that very distinctly. And I remember people were leaving the ballpark with whole pies.
They were.
Like, they would go to the game, get pizza, and then on their way out, I think you sold around almost 6,000 pizzas in that 6-game
We were
homestand.
busy. We were actually overwhelmed.
Yes. I mean, that's what a huge hit it is. And it was such a huge hit. John Middleton, a few years later, called you up and said, we want you to do what? Do you know what I'm asking you? Go down to Clearwater and bring down Manco Manco. Now, I also asked you this a few years later when you were coming into Clearwater. I said, Chuck, are you one of these pizza guys that believes the water makes the pizza? And you said 100%.
100%.
So I said, all right, so you don't have the Ocean City water in Clearwater, Florida, but you said you have a little.
We bring the water to Ocean City or to Clearwater.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have a little.
It's like we bring it to the bank. Well, not literally, but we use the same water to make the dough in Clearwater as well as in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Wow,
So the pizza in Clearwater tastes like the pizza
Absolutely.
right here in Ocean
Because
City.
if it didn't, our loyal fans will let us know in a New York minute.
So when I make back in the day when I made a big trade and we got the Hunter Pences of the world and the Roy Oswalds of the world, I know how our front office felt when we got those things done. How did it feel when you guys were finally in the ballpark and building that? What was that day like for you when you guys became part of Citizens Bank?
The day we inked the contract, it was just overwhelming. And as I told Dave Buck and Howard and John Middleton, and we were just honored and humbled to be there. Couldn't believe it. We still pinch ourselves that we get to go into that ballpark, be part of this organization, and sell pizza to our fans. And I have to thank our loyal fans. Without them, we'd be nothing. So it's just a great feeling.
You're following here in Ocean City. I've been coming down here for many, many years. It's been a staple. It's been something that, everybody, Manco Mancos. I mean, you come down, that's something you actually have to do. I mean, my kids used to come down. First thing that we did was come here. How does that make you feel? Like you're the king on the boardwalk here.
I mean, we're humble. We're honored. We don't take anything for granted. I really have to give a shout out to my wife and her parents back there. Her parents are the founders of the company. Next year will be our 70th anniversary. And we work hard to keep this place going the way it goes. You can see the customers, our staff in here, and we don't take it for granted.
To me, one of the cool sights about just, again, going back to spring training in Clearwater is to see people walking around. I always tell people that's like a bucket list item. If you haven't been to Clearwater, you got to go. Because the atmosphere is just tremendous. And now you see people walking around with
the box.
Manco Manco pizza boxes. I mean, even at Citizens Bank, I mean, it's one thing for people to come down here in the short and be in your restaurant and eat, but what does it feel different? Like, what do you think when you see people walking around Citizens Bank Park with your pizza boxes and in Clearwater?
I just think it's amazing. And if my wife isn't at the game with me and my work husband, Greg, who's back there, we go to about 75 out of the 80 games. She'll text me and go, I saw a box.
Yeah, here we go.
And
right
these
there.
boxes are great.
That's right. There we go. This is the box you see. I mean, they're all over Clearwater. It's amazing. It's so cool.
They are.
And it's great.
So I want to go back to your childhood a little bit. And then what were your favorite, if you were going to pick out your favorite Phillies teams, what year, what team, what players were the teams that you felt that you really sort of gravitated
The Mike
to?
Schmidt days, the 1980s were fantastic, and the 08 and 09 teams. Yeah.
Those
and
were your
really
two.
everyone in between. It was just great. All the players are great, whether it was Steve Carlton, Mike Schmidt, Chooch, Radledge. It's just great to watch. It's my favorite sport. Hands down.
Really?
Favorite
It
sport.
is still your favorite sport. That's
sport.
pretty cool.
Favorite
That's
sport.
awesome.
We love it, guys. And you guys do a great job, and thank you for being here today.
Yeah, well, we love every Monday. We do the Manco Manco Best Week segment. We do the Player of the Week, and we always have a little fun debate every once in a while. Sometimes we agree.
Sometimes we agree. Sometimes we don't.
That's okay.
We don't
That's the
agree. It
nature of the
gives us
game,
something
right?
To banter about, but we agree that this is great stuff. We got here. There was a line out in front. You weren't even open yet. There was already a line.
I know that. I mean, that's got to be great as well. Yeah,
It's great.
it's
a great
Okay, so what move are you making to try to make this team better? What's your move?
To the Phillies?
Yeah, what's your deadline move? You got one move to make. What are you doing, Chuck?
One move? Maybe Suarez.
That's
Eugenio. I like it.
I'd like
All right. Eugenio.
We don't want to give away the farm to get a couple rentals, but I think Suarez.
So you're okay with where they are? Just go ahead and get another bat.
Bring up Painter and let's try out Crawford. What do we have to lose? Bringing up Justin Crawford. See what he can do.
I agree with that. I think.
All right, right on. I think he's going to be up here
He's
soon.
either going to hit
you.
major league pitching or he's not. It's real. I mean, just try
But if
him
he
out.
doesn't hit it right away, eventually he's going to hit. There is a breaking period.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I'm excited that Robertson's back in a strange way. I like that guy.
Yeah,
he pitched well.
Hey, man, he knows. He's been here, done it.
Been here, and he knows pizza too.
Huh?
He knows pizza.
He knows pizza. That's right.
So what do you order when you're here? Like, do you have a go-to?
Plain or white broccoli, hands down my favorite.
Really, white broccoli.
White broccoli.
White broccoli. Can I get some white broccoli? I want
My wife
to
says
do
I
the
have to
white
have
broccoli.
something green. She says a Heineken bottle doesn't count.
I'm not leaving here without some white broccoli, brother.
Whatever you need.
That's it.
We'll take care of you.
That is amazing. See, I like to know that. I like to know what the guy that makes it, when he eats. That's a great recommendation.
Plain white broccoli.
Well, that's awesome. Well, Chuck, thanks so much, man.
Thank you,
we
gentlemen.
appreciate
Thank
you
you,
having
guys.
us.
Thank you.
This has been awesome.
Thank you. Gentlemen, thank you.
Great to have
I'm
you,
getting
man.
hungry
Bye.
now.
Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
Chuck.
We're going to
Appreciate it.
eat. Thanks, everybody.
We're gonna wrap this up. I want to say Dick Allen's going in the Hall of Fame today.
That's huge.
You guys,
It's a wonderful
have
thing.
talked to Dick over the years. I mean, any thoughts on Dick Allen going in the Hall of Fame?
I'm just disappointed. I'm happy for the family, clearly, that Dick Allen is now a Hall of Famer or will be. It's just unfortunate that he wasn't able to enjoy it while he was with us. One of the best athletes that ever played and ever donned a uniform in Philadelphia, which was, my dad used to talk about it all the time, how special he was as a player. Probably the most misunderstood player back. I mean, he was truly the most misunderstood player, and he took a lot of heat. It was a difficult life for him here in Philadelphia at that time, and for him to work through it and be the player that he was, and then to come back again to Philadelphia and make an impact, great thing. It's long overdue. I'm glad it's happening. God bless the Allen family. I'm super, super happy for all of them. Well deserved, and it's great that he's going to be forever in Cooperstown, known as one of the best players that ever played the game.
It was long overdue, well deserved. I mean, from 64 to 74, that's 11 seasons. His numbers were right there with Hank Aaron's. One of the criteria, I think, loose criteria, unofficial criteria that we look at for the Hall of Fame is dominating your era. Mm-hmm. And he was a dominant hitter in his era from 64 to 74. You look at sometime at his 1966 season, it is incredible. Maybe he belonged in the Hall of Fame just based on his 1966 season. And there was some real great seasons. He finished like fourth in the MVP that year. A bunch of guys had great years, but I am really happy for him, having gotten to meet him a few times. A real gentleman. And I'm happy for John Middleton because I think he spearheaded this effort to help right this wrong, that he wasn't in there. And it's great to see that it's happening today.
Yeah, he got his number retired a couple years ago when Dick was still around, and I definitely think that kind of pushed him to the forefront in the minds of some of those voters on the
no doubt
Hall of Fame committee. So thank you so much. Thanks to everybody that stopped by to watch the show. Thanks to Phil Martelli. Thank you, Fran Dunphy. Thank you, Brendan Duckworth. Thank Chuck Bangle. Thank you, everybody at Manco and Manco. The Philly show will be back. We're gonna have several episodes this week because I have a feeling the Phillies will be making some of those emergency pod, we call it.
Let's do it.
Can we get pizza?
Emergency
and now we get to eat some pizza.
Yeah, we'll have to slide some in.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's that time.
Well, thanks, everybody. We will be back. Philly show will be back this week.
Smell you later, boys.
Smell you, Jim.
Yeah, smell you.